Welcome to Gardening Naturally with Green Fingertips with me, Josie Rainbird, your natural gardening coach. Today I'm talking about feeding your tomato plants and how you can support them through all the stages of growth. So when it comes to tomato plant food, one size does not fit all. So they need different types of nutrients and different feeds for different stages of growth. So that's what we're talking about today. If you're interested, keep on watching. So tomato plants are hungry creatures. They're hungry plants and need different nutrients for different stages of growth. Each stage will require specific types of nutrients. If it doesn't have access to the type of nutrients, the plant will start to show you signs that it is becoming deficient. So for example, early growth, the young shoots, the green, the foliage, stem growth, that sort of thing, is relying on nitrogen. So early stages of growth need the nitrogen to keep them growing. Because their growth is so quick and so rapid, they do need an awful lot of nitrogen there to keep them fed, to keep them happy, to support their growth. And if the plants don't receive or have access to enough nitrogen in these early stages of growth, the leaves can start to turn yellow and the plant's growth can become stunted, so they're less productive, they're smaller plants overall. At the fruiting and flowering stage, or the flowering and fruiting stage, flowers come first. At the flowering and fruiting stage, the plant will require more potassium and more phosphorus. This goes towards supporting the flowers the buds as they're produced, as they're grown. That goes towards when the flower's been pollinated and the fruit's starting to be produced and grown on the plant. This is when the plant really does need the potassium and phosphorus there. This will also support good root growth as well. So as the plant's roots develop and grow, to allow the plant to take on more nutrients in the soil, more moisture, more water. So good root growth is important as well. So the potassium and phosphorus all go towards supporting the flowers, fruits and roots. Of course, water is very important. As much as it's not a food per se, it will allow the tomato plant then to access the nutrients in the soil. So it will help them to access the food. So long as it's not a food itself, it allows access to food. So water is very important for all stages of growth for tomato plants, for any plant really, to be fair, but it is an incredibly important factor in all stages. So as the plants grow, if the soil isn't kept damp, not wet and soggy, but damp, the nutrients in the soil won't remain soluble and then won't be accessible by the roots. So you have to keep the soil remaining a little bit moist and damp. That will help the plant to pick up all the nutrients that it needs. And it also helps when the fruit is being developed for the fruit to grow healthily and as big as it can, because the more, especially with tomatoes, the more moisture that's involved, more water is involved, the bigger the fruit will get, the better development, the better flavour as well. So if you start starving them of water as the fruit is being developed, they're gonna, if it doesn't completely fall off, you will get smaller fruit and it won't taste so nice and it won't have developed so well. So it'll ripen, take a while to ripen, that sort of thing. So it really is important to keep a steady and consistent water level in the greenhouse to keep them happy and healthy. Just to go back over it, what feeds do your tomato plants need at all the different stages? So for the early growth, they rely on nitrogen more than any other type of nutrient. So they're really nitrogen-rich feeds are important early on. They're going to be, all the leaves are going to be produced, the stem, all the green relies on nitrogen to support it. So nitrogen is key. To provide your tomato plants with a good nitrogen boost, when I'm planting my tomatoes up, I use an organic tomato or vegetable compost, which has been made with a higher level of nitrogen in it to support more fruit and veg growth. This usually gives my baby tomato plants a really good start in life, and then I don't have to worry about providing over the amount of nitrogen early on. I can worry about that a bit later on in the season. So that's a really good way to go. If you're growing them in the greenhouse from a container, that's a really useful way to go, and it's not overly expensive to do that way. I do grow my own compost. I do create and make my own compost anyway, but I use this more of a general all-purpose compost. You can also make a really good nettle liquid feed as well, which I've talked about many times on this channel, but the nettle liquid feed is a really good high nitrogen feed, liquid feed. Does smell a lot when you're making it, but it's a really good high nitrogen feed, so that's really good for your veg patch. Any plants early season growth when they need that nitrogen boost, so that's really good for that. And there's seaweed, so you can buy organic seaweed liquid feed if you like in the shops, Or you can, if you're living by the sea, or you can just go and collect a bit of seaweed off the beach, if you can. Obviously check the areas you're in. Some areas might not allow you to pick up seaweed off the beach, some will. Check with your local authorities if you have to, but dry it out and leave it on top of the soil as a green mulch so it breaks down into the soil and then feeds the tomatoes that way. Or you can dry it out in the sunshine, so leave it somewhere you can either hang it or leave it somewhere to dry, and then you can crumble it up and break it up and use it as like a granular or a powdered feed as well, so you can sprinkle it around, dig it into the soil that way. So either way, they work really well. They're starting to produce flowers, and you're going to start thinking about fruit soon. This is the time that you want to be getting the potassium and the phosphorus into the tomato plants. Start supporting them now, and then their root systems are going to develop nicely. They're going to be taking up that nutrient much more efficiently, and it's going to be much better for the plants overall. So for this you can use bone meal, that works very well. You can use banana skin liquid feed or just banana skins on their own. These are very good sources of potassium and phosphorus. You can make the liquid feed by soaking banana skins, or you can just dig the banana skins into the soil, cut them up into pieces and dig them in, and then they'll slowly over time be like a slow release potassium fertiliser. They'll just break down into the soil. So that works really well as well. Now I will leave a link at the end to my playlist of how to make various different natural feeds, so you can check out the banana skin liquid feed is in there as well. It's only short, so it won't take you long to watch it, but that's in there as well. So that'll be at the end of this video, so you can check that out. So stay to the end and you can find that. So I hope this has helped you to understand how best to feed your tomato plants throughout the year. And it isn't a one-size-fits-all type of feeding regime, if you like, for tomatoes. They do need different things at different stages of life. And if you want to get a really good crop and really look after your plants, you need to understand what they need and when they need it. So hopefully this helped you understand, and hopefully this will help you grow an incredible crop of tomatoes this year. So if you'd like to see more ways to make natural feeds for your plants, click this link here. If you like this video today, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, click the subscribe button just up here in the corner, and then you'll be told each week when my new videos come out. On that note, I'll leave it there, and I will see you in my next video. See you later.